Thinking I would know what the future bring, all the highs and lows. Said I'm gonna win, though the world might spin. Now I'm sitting here like I'm no one. It rains down on me, all the phone calls I'm ignoring. See, I'm a mess, just trying to guess my way through this. Just don't get enough of me.
What's up, guys? It's Jacob Randall Holmes, and if you're new here, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you're not, thanks so much for coming back. And by the way, it's been a while, and by the way, definitely not Ohio. I mean, come on, short sleeves in December? What are you kidding? I wanted to jump on here just because Astro House, the makers of the Freewrite and the Freewrite Traveler smart typewriters, used one of my photos this week in one of their holiday promotions, and I actually realized I've never jumped on here and done a formal review of their Freewrite Traveler travel typewriter. And you know, since we are very close to the holidays and I feel like we're in our final days of being able to purchase the Freewrite Traveler and actually have it get here by Christmas, that I better get this up. Since it's so close to the holidays, I thought let's just go outside on my last night in Miami, Florida, which is my new home, and by the way, updates on that later. But I wanted to jump on here and enjoy the weather, enjoy the sun, and just tell you a little bit about my experience with the Freewrite Traveler. So the Freewrite Traveler is Astro House's portable smart typewriter, or their smart laptop. And basically, it is the Freewrite smart typewriter with the same functionality, distraction-free, e-ink display. It's basically the same as the Freewrite smart typewriter, just in laptop form. 3 folders which you can work on documents, the Wi-Fi button that connects you to your cloud account for your files. There are 2 really big feature differences when it comes to comparing the Freewrite and the Freewrite Traveler. And one of them is a positive, one of them is definitely a negative. The positive is that you actually have the ability to edit what you type. On the original Freewrite, Hemingwrite, all of the models before it, once you type it, the only way to make any types of edits is to delete what you've already typed. With the hotkeys on the Freewrite Traveler, you can edit to a point on what you've typed. That's the positive thing. If you get the Freewrite Traveler, that is something that it can do that the original Freewrite cannot. Now, the negative with the Freewrite Traveler, in my opinion, is you lose that beautiful backlit display you get with the original Freewrite. And I believe the Hemingwrite, I've never actually had the Hemingwrite in my hand, so I can't really speak for that one. Astro House, if you would like to send one to me, I literally live about 4 hours from Ernest Hemingway's estate in Key West, so I'd be happy to take a Hemingwrite there. You know, the big bummer about the backlit display being gone from the Freewrite Traveler, as opposed to the OG Freewrites, and you know, if you're doing the thing that like the name of this device suggests you do with it, travel, without that backlight, if you are, for example, on a plane, a red-eye flight, since travel is becoming way more normal, you have to literally turn on the overhead light to even be able to see the e-ink display or the keys that you're typing on, and that's just kind of a big bummer since that's such a nice feature on the original Freewrite. In my opinion, the biggest benefit of using the Freewrite Traveler is the fact that it is so small and compact. And I will say, this guy lived in my laptop case, which is the Moby case, and I actually reviewed that. So if you wanna check that out, I have the links posted below. The Freewrite Traveler basically lived in my Moby case for the first year that I owned it. So if you want to travel with it, it's light, it's tiny, it is fantastic for being able to just slide into whatever bag, backpack, laptop case, beach bag, whatever you want to do with it. But on the topic of the beach, for example, like, you know, I live in Florida now. Something that I was really hoping to do with the Freewrite Traveler is take it to the beach, but this is where I get into my second big issue that I have with the Freewrite Traveler, and that is build quality. It is a gorgeous device. It is very aesthetically pleasing. It looks very, very nice. But a big difference in build quality that this has from the original Freewrites is the fact that the chassis of this bad boy is plastic, or a hard type of like polyurethane, basically plastic. I have found myself actually bringing my Freewrite Smart Typewriter instead of the Freewrite Traveler. Anyways, when I decided to do the thing that you actually do with the Freewrite Traveler, I took it to the beach and I wrapped it in I actually put it in a laptop sleeve that I had. And I didn't really use it at the beach because when I moved here in July, the stickiest, hottest, nastiest, gooeyest, swampiest, humid weather that Florida could possibly deal. And I didn't really touch the Freewrite Traveler while I was at the beach, but despite the fact that I barely touched it, it still managed to get these nicks that you can't really see on it through that trip. And that, you know, I'm still angry that every time I go to reach for my Freeride Traveler, it's got a nick here, nick here, nick there, nick there. And I mean, I'm a musician. I'm used to being really, really careful with my instruments, computers, technology equipment, everything. And I never had this problem with the original Freeride. So that is my second big problem with the Freeride Traveler, is the fact that, you know, it just kind of gets banged up if you don't baby it. Now, understandably, when I purchased it, it was around $400. I think a little bit less because I got it when it was still on Kickstarter. But, you know, pretty expensive device to have those issues. But anyways, enough of me talking about the negatives with this device. Let me talk about a couple more positives that I had. I mentioned earlier that I literally take this everywhere with me. It slides very nicely in my production bag, and it really has no problem coming with me to anything I want to take it to. And here, during my first semester at University of Miami Frost School of Music, I took it to every songwriting session I did, every music theater writing collaboration session, and honestly, as far as a distraction-free sketch tool, it really does work well for that. And you know, the big thing that I think that would help the Freeride Traveler's aesthetic and build quality issues that I have with it is if Freewriter Astro House could create like a skin to cover the bottom and top of the device, because that would take away my fear of scratching it, nicking it, getting something, making it look ugly, because that's the thing. When it's clean, it's a beautiful device, but the second it gets damaged or smudgy, it is not as aesthetically pleasing anymore, and like, you know, it's just not that device that grabs you the way the Freewrite and the other models of the Freewrite and the Hemmingwrite do, because, you know, the Freeride Traveler, unless you clean it before you use it, it looks grimy, and I really hate to say that, but for a device that's at the price point that the Freeride Traveler's at, I think it's important to bring up. And one more topic that bothers me about the Freeride Traveler. Now, I feel like Astro House may be working on a solution for this, but my big problem is the fact that you are stuck with these white keys. The Freewrite typewriter is great because you have multiple different colored keycaps you can purchase on the Freewrite website. I recently just purchased the black keys for my original Freewrite, and the thing, it's beautiful. And I'm just, like, I'm so overcome with how much better the black keys look on the Freewrite typewriter. And if I had that option with the Freewrite Traveler, I feel like, again, I wouldn't feel like I'd be risk damaging it or getting it dirty or just really not making it look like the creative tool that I want it to look like. Because if we learned anything from when Apple did white MacBooks with the white keys, we learned that those white keys only stay white for so long. Like I said in my last video, the Freewrite is very much like an instrument, and like an instrument, it takes some of the oil from your hands when you use it. You know, again, I feel like the keys are another issue that I have with it that I just can't really get past. Oh, and if I didn't already say this, other big benefit of the Freeride Traveler is it will absolutely go in every backpack or laptop bag that you have, regardless. Just, you know, make sure you have something keeping it from getting scratched or anything like that. I'm out here vlogging and just thinking to myself, hey Jacob, why don't you vlog outside more often? For the love of God, it's Florida, it's so nice. And then I realized it's because after about 5 minutes of shooting, I am sweating. And let me tell you, if you think this is bad, you should have seen me week 1 when I moved down here in the hell of July. Another big benefit of the Traveler, though, that I really like when traveling with it on those red-eye flights that I was complaining about earlier is this guy really is not very heavy, and you'll never get tired of it sitting in your lap. But on the topic of it sitting in your lap, I do find that unless you are sitting like with that exact like flat leg, depending on what type of pants you are wearing, the Freeride Traveler will slide off of your legs. And that is one issue that I have when traveling on planes with it, so you often catch me doing the cross-legged thing. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, this one is definitely a Jacob exclusive benefit that I like. One of my favorite things about the Freeride Traveler is the fact that it is so light and it is handheld. I've been holding it in one hand this entire video, and there's quite a few times where I will actually pace my room, pace my apartment, walk around our pool outside my condo, and just be like looking at the Freeride Traveler, reading what I wrote the night before, just getting the story back in my head, refreshing what I have written recently. And I do like the fact that I can just go wherever I want with it, and you know, it's not very heavy. And it's not a cell phone, so there's no temptation to go on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of that stuff. So that is probably my favorite thing about the Freeride Traveler, is the fact that it is very good for the busy, antsy creative that can't sit still and needs to just like take a lap every 5 seconds. So I'm a big fan of the fact that it is tiny enough to sit in the palm of my hand while I'm doing my thing, while I'm creating. But just really quickly, one thing that I think it's very important to say about the Freeride Traveler is, even though I have given a lot of criticism on the build quality and aesthetics of the Freeride Traveler, Freerite and Astro House do actually have protection plans or repair plans for their devices. So if you are worried about damaging the Traveler, but that is the one that you have to have, you can always get one of those plans and you can, you know, travel with it safely. Whew, so hot. So dripping with sweat, hot. In December, Miami. Now that we've gotten all of my likes and dislikes out of the way with the Freeride Traveler, I have to say I do understand why it is the Freerite that most customers land on first, because let's get the facts straight. It is the budget Freerite of the group. Currently, on Freerite's website on today, December 18th, 2021, you can purchase the Freerite Traveler before tax for $449 US. You're saving 25% of the original price. That's $150 off of the original price of $600. And yeah, you know, this is an expensive professional product. And while I'm on the website, let me just check to see what the actual Freerite runs for. Yeah, and yeah, the 3rd generation smart typewriter is listed for $600. And like, guys, these are not cheap products. These are for serious writers or serious aspiring writers. Because of the price point, the Freerite Traveler might be the one that makes the most sense for you. Like I said, I am biased. I bought the 2nd gen typewriter when it was cheaper than the 3rd gen typewriter. And I got the Freerite Traveler on Kickstarter when it was only $395. It's difficult for me to say which one is the one that you should go with. Despite what I like and dislike about the Freerite Traveler, I wrote the first third of my original novel on the Freerite Traveler, and I've written the lyrics for at least 10 songs on the Freerite Traveler. So it definitely works. It does the thing. And if you need the most budget version of the Freerite to get this distraction-free writing experience, by all means, you should go for the Freerite Traveler. Now, if you're somebody who owns a Freerite already, I would really try to get your hands on one first, or watch the other YouTubers that have reviewed the Freerite Traveler, because some of them absolutely love it and sing its praises. And I'm not saying I don't like it or I don't love it. It's definitely my 2nd Freerite compared to my original Freerite. And also, if I'm being entirely honest, Freerite just released a very exciting accessory. It's the fancy leather case that ships with the Hemingwright. What can I say? Which Freerite is really the Traveler now? Because quite frankly, I'm going home to Ohio for 3 weeks for the holiday season, and it's gonna be the original Freerite that comes home with me, not the Freerite Traveler. So again, which one is really the Traveler? And by the way, Astro House, Freerite people, I would absolutely love to review this. I'm gonna be in Ohio, I'm an hour east of Columbus. I bet from where you guys are in Michigan, we could get me one within a day. I could literally drive to you. And who knows, I might actually just pull the trigger and get it myself, because the second this came out, I have been on the, I have just been right on the fence about to jump off and get this bad boy, because this is so cool. And since I am definitely an OG Freewrite guy, this is perfect for me. So, you know, hit me up. You have my contact info. I would love to take a look at this guy. Anyway, guys, that's kind of it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's been about a year since I posted my last video, but you know, 2020 and 2021 have been some very strange times. So I can't wait to bring you my new content series, which is starting now here in the final weeks of 2021, and when I return to Miami in January of 2022. So thank you so much, and if you're new here, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're not, thank you so much for returning. And remember, guys, keep feeling fantastic. See ya.